All right, welcome to CAPECAST. We are back after a unintentional hiatus. As you can see, my setup's a little different. I'm moving my office to my garage. We're finishing my garage right now, so I'm in like a transition phase out there. But Brandon looks great. He's red now. I don't know if you
still in the red room.
I don't know if you've done it. Have you done a CAPECAST with the red room yet?
Surely I have. Probably Army of the Dead, or I don't know.
Ah, yeah. I probably got that one.
Yeah, I guess that was the last time we were together here on the CAPECAST.
Yep. This is
had vacations and other things that have just kept us apart.
Except for this weekend. We were together at the lake.
It's true. It was good to see you.
Yeah.
And Al, everyone,
in
Chris,
person.
Jeff, lots of people that have been in and out of CAPECAST and CiNEMACHiNE.
Yep.
Good
so
tonight, little company retreat.
That's right. Unpaid hours, always.
Right.
Tonight we wanted to kind of get back we're going to start doing our usual Monday show, but more like our original kind of news talk, comic book geek movie news talk shows. And obviously as things come out, movies come out, shows come out, we'll talk about them, we'll review them. But we wanted to, and now that we officially finished our Zack Snyder's Justice League review series, we want to get back to talking about just everything. And you'll see tonight we've got DC, Marvel, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, everything on the docket.
Lots to catch up on, lots of things we missed. Some things that maybe have been in the news for a little while, but we just haven't had time to touch on. So hit what we can.
No doubt. By the way, happy Man of Steel 8-year anniversary, Brendan.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. It is the 8-year anniversary of Man of Steel today.
Yep. I would be lying if I said that I didn't go onto YouTube and watch the teaser trailers with Jonathan Kent and Jor-El voiceover with the like Lord of the Rings style music going on. Those things are great. Never gets old.
Indeed. It doesn't seem like 8 years. I mean, this whole like Snyder Cut movement fandom feels like 8 years, but it doesn't feel like 8 years removed from Man of Steel for some reason. Feels like,
yeah, I can see that.
But yeah,
the last
Ryan,
4 years have been a lifetime.
Since it is the anniversary, when did you? So I'm assuming you saw Man of Steel opening weekend. Was that do you have any like memories of seeing it theatrically?
So that was off riding the coattails of, that was kind of the movie I was excited for after Dark Knight Rises. And I saw it. I didn't see I don't even know if they still do this, but like they had a Thursday night screening, but it wasn't at like midnight. It was like at 8 o'clock or whatever, earlier. So that's what I did. I think I went with.
Did you do the Walmart one or did you just do a?
No, I just did a regular one. I know you did the Walmart one. You popped your picture up of the little plastic ticket deal the other day.
Yep.
What about you?
Yeah, that was that's what I did. I got the Walmart ticket, and we saw it. Myself, my wife, my sister-in-law saw it that Thursday at like 7. Yeah, and they had like a little introduction at the beginning from Zack Snyder.
You got a visitor.
I've got a few visitors. Hello, kiddos. Hello.
Nice.
How's it going?
Like super creepy. Like cast the shadow walking across the red light.
Everyone, they won't be able to hear you, Ryan, but Luna and Cleet wanted to say hello. They've been playing some PlayStation in the theater. Say hello.
Howdy.
Okay. Y'all go ahead and finish your game.
To talk about Man of Steel 8-year
anniversary. Just a little bit. Can we watch a movie?
Sure.
Thank you.
You're like,
sure, we can do that.
That's my girl.
Man of Steel?
No.
What? Lord of the Rings?
No.
Okay.
I'll pick it.
All right, you'll pick it. Make sure you shut that door when you go in there, okay?
Actually, I need to watch Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going to have to watch Man of Steel. I know it.
Cleet wants to watch Man of Steel.
There you go.
Okay. Y'all going in the theater, okay? So I don't even remember what I was saying.
The Walmart Man of Steel.
I saw it at the Walmart screen. Y'all going to the theater, babe? Yeah, so we saw it at the Walmart screening, and I think I've told this story before, but I had a kid sitting behind me that kept kicking my chair the whole time.
Yeah.
And that kind of flavored the entire experience. You know how I am about screenings and people. But yeah, so that was that. But yeah, it was good. I mean, yeah, like I said, doesn't feel like 8 years ago. I know I say this all the time. I was at Comic-Con in 2012 when they debuted the first trailer. And
what?
It's crazy because back then is when they would debut trailers at Comic-Con and they wouldn't go online. So that trailer didn't get put out until like 6 months later.
Yeah.
They'd put out like descriptions on like Screen Rant and other sites that would cover it. But yeah, so I felt pretty privileged to have seen the trailer and nobody else had seen it.
And you still do.
I do. Yeah. But yeah, Henry and Zach were both there at Comic-Con. And it was funny because I've said this before too, I think, but it was so funny seeing Zach then and then watching him now in the press. Like he was so nervous back then.
Just so much more comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
it's like watching that, what late night show was he on? I'm blanking. Colbert.
Yeah.
And the acting was great in that. He was just. I love when he was asking him to like deliver his line like his family's trapped under an overturned tank and the tread spinning right next to his face. It's like, cut, print it. Well, don't print it.
It's digital, so yeah.
You got it though, right?
Yep. What's up, Alan? You made it.
Yes. Sorry.
Hey, buddy.
I hope I look a little better and sound a little better now.
You're coming through.
You always look
Yeah.
good.
I think you're coming through pretty good so far. You in a different room?
No, it's a different camera. So
You just got it more of a wide.
Look at you
Okay,
guys
got
with your matching shirts there. You just call each other up, decide what you're going to wear.
Special occasion. So, with it being Man of Steel anniversary, you had to. You, for some reason, wore a hunting shirt. I don't understand that one. But.
I don't know. I don't even hunt. All right. So, do you want to jump into?
But speaking of anniversaries, today is also the 8-year anniversary of my favorite game ever, The Last of Us. I had to put this in there because it is my favorite video game ever, one of my favorite stories ever. So, cool. Special shout out for Last of Us, any Last of Us fans out there. I know Ryan has the game and still has yet to play it. Alan, have you ever played The Last of Us?
I have not.
Okay. Well, let's
moving on. You try so hard with the video games, Brandon. You try so hard.
Tough crowd.
Yeah. It's okay. You should play it.
I should.
It is a phenomenal game. I recommend it to you.
I'm inching closer and closer to playing the Arkham games. That'll make you happy at least.
Well, that's at least, yeah, those are good too. So
that may be the last games I actually played was the Arkham games. Well, actually, and me and Mandy and the boys have played all of the Kingdom Hearts, the Disney Final Fantasy games. We played all those. So
yeah. That's what the kids were playing earlier today. With Kingdom Hearts 3. I got a FaceTime while I was at work. How do we get this to work? Melissa, she's obviously no help when it comes to technology. So I had to walk them through it, trying to get it turned on. But yeah, enough about video games. Not a video game podcast. I understand, but I had to bring it up just because I saw it. it's one of those things where it's like you see trends pop up on Twitter. It's like, what's trending? It said Last of Us. I was like, oh boy, who's canceled? You know. So,
speaking of which,
but yeah,
Restore the Snyderverse was trending nationally today.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it was.
Which it feels like it does every day.
What did it get up to? When I saw it earlier, midday, it was like 85,000.
It was up over 200. Let's see.
Imagine that.
Yeah, imagine that.
Well,
I think I
hope you saw it
earlier. So at
Zaslav.
Yeah. Do it.
It's so funny that we know executives' names just because of this movement.
I mean, for real.
I never
Seriously,
know any
though.
executive's name.
Well,
period.
also, seriously, like it's crazy how much this fandom like dissects the Warner Brothers, like whatever depth chart or whatever you want to call it, hierarchy, executive hierarchy.
Right.
But
It is crazy indeed. Well, anyway, all right. So the news. We don't have a news. We need to. That's what we need to get. We need to get a news drop if we're going to do these in segments.
We can
Going
do that.
forward, mental note, news drop.
news drop noted.
Yeah. We already talked about this news item on CiNEMACHiNE briefly, but I feel like we could touch upon it again, at least just for the sake of Alan being here. So, but yeah, I guess it was a few weeks ago at this point, but Annie Machete dropped that nice little image of Keaton's.
The mean jelly donut. I'll tell you what.
It was, yeah. Sent Ryan the Watchmen gif
Yeah.
at the end. The guy, eating the donut, and it drops on the Watchmen logo. Yeah, thoughts on just the image in general, I guess. Alan, we'll let you go because Ryan and I have already said a little bit on CiNEMACHiNE, but
Yeah.
sure.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to really get much from it, but I mean, as far as DC news that goes, I mean, my first real superhero movie experience that I can remember is I was at I think it was 4-H camp, and we had got to go to like a mall for the night, and they had a movie theater there, and I watched Batman Returns on that trip. So that was probably on my own the first superhero movie I'd went and seen, without my parent, sans parents.
Sans parents. Ryan doesn't get that joke. He hasn't seen it.
I do not.
I can go
I can go to a movie on a school night like that.
like that. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, so I was super pumped to see that it was the Batman Returns bat, without the extra pointies on the
I know
bottom.
a lot of people love that 89 logo.
Yeah,
It's not my favorite. I don't
I
like
agree.
it.
I love this one. I like this one a lot better, actually.
This was the one when I was drawing as a kid. This is the one I drew. This is the bat.
same.
Yeah.
Well, this is kind of the one that's carried over for the most part. I mean, there is a little bit different, but as far as like that iconic Batman logo, I mean, that's the version that you see everywhere.
I do think it's interesting that the suit surrounding the logo there's a little different. Obviously, it's got kind of, you talked about Brandon, that little cutout underneath the breastplate, but it looks a little more like
it's in the
tactical.
Returns version, that little cutout.
Yeah. But the up above the mark there, I don't know. This one looks like it has a little bit more of a technical.
Yeah. It definitely seems like it's going to be some sort of tactical, maybe exoskeleton type suit because he's going to be more Batman.
Yeah, like a Kingdom Come type thing. That would be really cool.
So what are we thinking? We talked about the blood a little bit. Well, what are we thinking? What does this mean?
I think it means.
Does it mean he's dying?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. I don't think it means he's dying. Not only because I feel like, with all the reports that Keaton is signing on to do this because he wants to do some sort of Batman Beyond Tim Burton. These are rumors. We don't know if this is true or not, but
yeah.
It's rumored that there's been a ton of them, but it's been rumored that, he was like, his like leverage was to do a Tim Burton either produced or, something to do with Tim involved.
Yeah.
Some sort of spinoff. A lot of people, some of this could be hypothetical, more like, just conclusions that people have made on their own. But, and then you've also got the rumors that it's going to be a Batman Beyond, but it's going to be a Batgirl instead of Terry McGinnis, which I know Ryan hates to hear.
Do not, I repeat, do not do that to me. I've been burned so many times by this company.
Yeah, that would just be twisting the knife.
Oh gosh. I don't know what to think about that.
Yeah, I don't know. It could also be, because they're doing the multiverse thing. So, it could be similar to the Flashpoint where Barry's trying to recreate the accident that gives him his powers, and he gets pretty fried, the first time he tries it. So it could be Barry's blood that's on there.
Definitely possible that we could be talking about, he could die, but then because we're dealing with time travel, it could be one of those things where I don't think by the end of it he will be dead, though. I think they're going to leave that open if they want to do something extra with Keaton. You know what I do hope? You talking about them not doing things like the Batgirl, Batman Beyond thing? Mm-hmm. We've said this before, but they better not be killing off Affleck. They better not be using this as a vehicle to kill off his character. If you do that,
I think I said it on CiNEMACHiNE. If this movie ends and Ben Affleck is dead as Bruce Wayne, I know exactly why they made this movie. That is true. I know exactly why they made this movie, and it's to reset things. And obviously, not a fan of that.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, and the reason can totally we have use that as a. Go ahead.
Well, the problem with this movie is that, there's many problems as far as it getting made. It took forever for them to get it off the ground, but it changed at some point. It seemed like they were just going to use it as a vehicle to reset their universe, Affleck even said post theatrical Justice League that he was looking for a way to seg out, and Flashpoint seemed to be like what they were going to use it for, to kind of, okay, if Affleck's done, we're going to use it to kind of get him out, but bring in maybe another Batman or an alternate Batman or something so they can continue on. Which is a terrible premise to start a movie. It's like, don't make a movie just to fix things. Like, make a movie because this is the movie that you want to make. Don't use it because it's like, the movie has to stand on its own. And I hope that this movie stands on its own. And you know what? Somebody else put this on Twitter, and they were like, "Is anybody else a little weary that everything up until today that's come out about Flash has been non-Flash related as far as characters? It's been like Batman, Supergirl, all these other potential people that could be involved. True, but like the Flash has been sidelined in his own movie, which is concerning. But
Yeah,
I don't know how you guys feel. I feel like some of that is also marketing as well, because but marketing to what degree? Because it's only the hardcore people are even going to be aware of this stuff. Like, I don't think any of this cuts through to mainstream yet. Like, it's not going to cut through to mainstream until there's a trailer out.
I mean, the Keaton thing does a little bit, in my opinion.
Possibly. That's big enough news for sure, I guess.
But yeah, like I can see where the concern could exist there, just because. I mean, you're right. Like until we'll talk about it here in a second. This what looks to be the kind of the emblem suit reveal today.
Well, let's talk about it now.
Let's do it.
Throw her up.
Boom. Yeah, so today
Very similar to that
I wonder if he's just gonna do this. Like the next one's gonna be like the Supergirl or something, like or Affleck's Batman or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a cool little staggered tease type thing he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it?
Well, assuming that this is let me throw it back up. Assuming that this is a chess piece. I mean, I dig it. It falls in line with the aesthetic that was kind of teased concept art wise at DC Fandom.
At Fandom, yeah.
It's very neural looking, at least the patterns in the suit itself.
Yeah.
Which I dig.
I'm interested to see how this looks. Obviously, this is very stylized, this shot here, but it looks like there's kind of like some almost raised rubber looking, like the big lines kind of firing out from the emblem there look like kind of like an embossed rubber.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant by the neural pattern.
Yeah.
It also kind of reminds me of the whole like metallic circular thing behind it reminds me of those like mazes in like Westworld.
Yeah,
that they were finding everywhere. But no, I mean, we knew that there was going to be an evolution of the suit even back when Snyder did Justice League. I mean, his suit was more of a prototype, and he was leaving it to the next set of directors, whatever.
It's so weird. Like, I wish so badly that I could sit here and talk about this movie, the Keaton thing, and this Flash thing, and be just stoked for it. But like everything that I say, I feel like I've got like a qualifier, the Snyder behind it, you know, like
yeah. I mean, we mentioned that last Thursday on CiNEMACHiNE, but yeah, it's unfortunate because we should both, and I assume Alan, I don't know how you feel about it, but we should be like over the moon pumped about this movie. But we have so many reservations, just like I said last week, just with our history with this company and kind of being weary of their motives, that it's going to be something that we're not in for, but we're hoping for the best. And knowing that there's a lot, like the VFX guys from Snyder stuff are going to be involved.
Was that a Grant Gustin thing legit today that people were talking about?
I don't know. I mean, it was.
I'm actually kind of cool with that. They were able to work Ezra into the Crisis, crossover event on the CW. I think it'd be cool to. I mean, even if it's just a little 2-minute, like it was with Ezra. Just throw him in there for a second. Just like, hey, it's you again. New suit or whatever.
I do hope if it is true, that's what they're doing. I get a little weary of. I'm obviously not, and I think I've talked about it before. I'm not a CW, DC fan. I get a little worried about kind of like, and it is what it is. It's TV quality. Like, I get a little worried about that bleeding over into these major motion pictures.
Yeah.
So I hope that if they're going to do that kind of stuff, it's kept kind of like in a limited role, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too kitschy, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, as far as this, I mean, I don't know about the source. It's not what was it? The Illuminati. I don't know much about that, but
I just saw that Daniel RPK retweeted something about it. So I heard them.
Okay. Well,
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not opposed to it, depending on how it's used.
Yeah, me too. And I
just don't want to be
in the Crisis thing, but I don't follow that show.
So.
I'm getting a little worried about. Like, I get that they're using this movie largely to set up the multiverse concept, but I'm getting a little worried about kind of like overdoing it in one movie. Like, I think Michael Keaton is a phenomenal way to introduced that concept. But you know, when you have Supergirl and you've got Ben Affleck's Batman, you may have Grant got like, I don't know. I just don't want it to get too like chaotic. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying earlier. As far as it is a little because of how, and I think that's something that we're going to run into on both sides of the pond with DC and Marvel. When you've got this movie, you've got the Spider-Man movie that it's also dealing with multiverse stuff, as well as Doctor Strange. Like, it could get very convoluted, depending on how it's handled.
Mm-hmm.
It's all, you know, we always were historically, it's like whenever they announce more than 2 villains, even sometimes 2 villains, it's like, oh man, this is like, typically is not a good thing. Usually, you know.
Yeah, and I will say though, I know that you guys, I've heard you guys talk about it a little bit, but the It movies, they may not have been perfect, but I feel like Andy did a really good job with an ensemble cast, you know, dealing with multiple characters and having them still have their layers, you know, through the movie. So maybe he's the guy for it. I don't know.
I kind of, when he got hired, I kind of assumed that was one of the reasons why he was hired. Even though I haven't seen those movies, but I knew that they were, you know, that's a bunch of kids. Assumed like, okay, maybe it's that, you know, it's that group element, multiple characters, storylines, that kind of thing. But then I know a lot of people don't care too much for the second one of those. Yeah. Part 2.
This guy.
Yeah. But I do love for it either way.
Yeah.
Word. Well, yeah. Well, anyway,
can we talk about some Shazam?
So we had we can talk about Shazam. Which part you want to talk about?
I want to talk about the suit.
You can talk. Oh, you don't want to talk about your FOMO from the weekend.
My FOMO?
Fear of missing out. The whole like whenever the Topgolf photo was released.
Oh,
and you weren't.
Fire it up. Throw it up there.
Okay.
We live here. I live close to Atlanta. Brandon lives not so close to Atlanta, but you know, accessible to Atlanta. And
2 hours away.
Yeah, they posted. Who was it that posted it? Was it?
I don't remember which one posted it, but yeah.
Hawkman and Shazam at Topgolf here, and at the Topgolf that I fairly frequent.
Yeah.
So
not that night.
We were at the lake at the time that this photo was posted. So Brandon and I we're like, should we jet back to Atlanta real quick? Try and
yeah.
Oh, we didn't.
No, we didn't. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
One of the main reasons that I brought it up was just, I mean, okay, it could be nothing. It could be nothing that they're just together hanging out. But knowing that Shazam and Black Adam are tied pretty closely together, they've already hinted at Black Adam in the first Shazam movie. Mm-hmm. It's assumed that after the Black Adam, there will be a Black Adam versus Shazam or some sort of tie-up, you know, team-up movie or
when you guys
or whatever it is.
Shazam in theaters, did you guys have the throne sequence at the end?
I know that this is like some sort of
Mandela
effect. You think that? I don't think so.
I literally had a discussion with Katie when we left the theater. She was like, "Why was there an empty chair?" And I had to explain to her what was going on. I'm telling you, like
Sandberg says you're crazy because it never.
He's also said that tons of people have said that they saw it in theaters.
Yeah. Huh. I don't remember it in theaters. I remember watching it on the Blu-ray.
Gotcha. I mean, I didn't even.
And we saw the same screening together, but I don't know.
I don't know. Like I don't even think I rewatched that movie for like quite some time after I purchased it, and like I remember talking about it earlier on. I think I remember talking about it. Maybe I'm crazy, but like,
I mean, Mandela effect is a real thing. So,
I know.
Who knows?
Yeah. Did the Monopoly guy have a monocle? That's one
I
of
don't
them.
know.
That's one of them.
Probably not, because I assume he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be cool if those movies start to overlap sooner than later. Shazam and Black Adam.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they're together. I mean, these movies are both have the same producing people. You know, Dwayne Johnson was a producer on the first one.
Yeah.
I feel like hopefully there will be some sort of there will be some tie-in, whether it's a button scene. One of these movies will lead. I mean, in Shazam, they had that little like hologram type, history lesson that had The Rock as Black Adam in it. So
sure.
I mean, it was made to look like The Rock. So anyway, that's the relevancy of it, I guess, as far as them posting that picture together.
Yeah.
I don't think it's.
I mean, they are both filming here in Atlanta, though, too, right? I think Black Adam's
yeah,
here.
they are, and that also leads. I mean, and as we'll see.
Seems like a good opportunity. That is accurate.
Yes. So let me do this.
Pony Smashers video.
Yeah, so I have this queued up. Let me pull this audio back. But yeah, we can get to the set photos later, but this was in true Sam Berg fashion released. Cool little.
Unfortunately,
my dog is trying to break down the door.
It's all good. Unfortunately, after the set photos leaked, I still loved the look of the set photos, which we'll see in a second.
Y'all talk for a second.
Sure. Alan? What did you think about the Shazam photos, the leaks?
I love it. But I love the first suit as well. But
yeah,
I like the additions. I like it. I don't know. I loved Shazam. I think we've watched it twice in the past 2 weeks. I mean, we just randomly put it on, and we'll watch it. It'll play in the background.
Yeah.
So I'm pumped. I think it's going to be awesome. I would love to see a finished, actual well lit photo with the cape and all. But yeah, I liked it.
I saw somewhere that somebody, obviously already immediately did their Photoshop job with the cape, but I actually liked the suit in the first one, and I didn't even mind I know there were leaks of that suit early as well, and people were kind of like, I don't know, weirded out by like how like padded it was.
Yeah.
But I thought it kind of fit the movie well. It was almost like kind of goofy in that sense.
Yeah.
But I love what they've done with it. The texture they've added to the suit, the stuff they've done with the gauntlets, and honestly, like just that detail. And it looks like they've improved the boots, which was kind of like the goofy part of the suit the first go around.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see but yeah, I agree. I'm excited to see how it looks when all the VFX are done.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and roll this little teaser.
Look at those boots.
I think somebody actually increased the brightness on this so you could see it a little better. But
why is it so dark? Probably would have been a good idea to have like one light on.
And that's it.
It is funny. He does look, because they took that extra padding out, he looks a lot smaller.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't. I don't know. He looks more defined, and I know that there's still padding in this suit. It's just a different. It's intently placed, and there's just more like structure to it. I have so just for reference, The left is a set photo, and the right is obviously a doctored up version of, for marketing.
Yeah.
So the lighting is going to be better, but you can still see it. The suit from the first movie was more. It reminded me a lot of how Adam West's Batman suit was. Like, it wasn't defined at all. It was just more like, it's kind of flat, not a lot of articulation in terms of like musculature and stuff.
Like Brandon Routh, Superman Returns.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah.
It seems like they're taking this to a little bit of a different level in terms of it's a little more defined. They have, and then this version doesn't have. It seems like they're going the Man of Steel, Superman type route as far as having a digital cape, because he had a practical cape and he had a hood. So I don't know if they're going to do a hoodless cape this time, or
I hope not.
How they're going to approach that.
Yeah, I hope not. I like that. I'm a fan.
Y'all hope that the hood is present.
Yeah.
Brandon, you got all kinds of visitors.
I know. They're just coming in and out. We're running daycare over here now. So.
I dig the look overall.
Mm-hmm.
I do
too.
Better than the first.
I think
round.
pretty
And
much.
It's not like I disliked the first one either. So.
Yeah, the only thing that's like curious to me are the little like little metal pieces that are on his rib cage, on his arms and legs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if I don't know the purpose besides just some sort of extra flair. But no, I dig it for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll
It seems to be in line with kind of what's been teased with the Black Adam suit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mainly in the neck area. Mm-hmm. It's got that like square neck cutout.
And the suit fabric just kind of resting on the skin there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the question is, as far as how are they going to, at least the question for me is, are they going to kind of have a reason his suit is different? Because this suit is it's his he creates this in his head, right? Yeah. So I wonder if that's going to be a part of the story. Like maybe he starts out in the old suit and he's like, and with Freddy, they like, there's some dialogue that they have like, figure out how to make the suits different or better or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it'd be interesting to see that. I also I don't think it would bother me if they didn't address it either.
Yeah,
it wouldn't bother me.
They gloss over a lot of that. In most movies, they just.
It would bother me if it happened in if it happened in a more like serious film, like a Snyder movie or whatever, but just how lighthearted and I don't know, Shazam is. It's just not as.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, they'll because it's a very different suit than the first one. Mm-hmm. I'm just interested to see if they come up, have an actual story beat that explains it, or if it's just glossed over. And either way, it doesn't matter to me whether they do or not, because it's not like Cavill's suit changed every movie. It's very common, and that's a suit that it shouldn't change from movie to movie, as far as he
was able to get away with it though, just because it was so subtle.
Yeah, it was pretty minimal changes. But I'm like you, Brandon. I hope that Freddy's got some snarky, funny little one-liners about the super suit being a little dull or something like that, and then Billy decides he's going to change it or whatever. That'd be pretty cool. I'd like that.
Yeah, I agree. All right, we got a few more DC points. We'll just kind of knock these out quickly, and then we can move on to some other Marvel and Star Wars and stuff. But yeah, so really quickly, we had a little teaser for something I am pumped for. I know you guys are pumped for it as well. DC League of Super Pets. I'm being facetious, but I am actually excited for this only because I have a kid.
Yeah, me too.
Ryan, you will eventually have a kid soon enough. Maybe by the time this comes out, I don't know if she'll be old enough to really appreciate it. If there is anything to appreciate, that time will tell.
Here's the thing. If, again, if I was getting more of what I want out of DC, I would be all for all of this stuff. But every time they announce a new show, when they've got a show teed up or a movie teed up, however you want to look at it with Justice League, I'm in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, we're doing another show that we're not spending money on or directing money towards Snyder stuff. Like, I don't know. I just feel every time.
I feel like this is something. This is an avenue that's going to happen regardless, because I mean they are going to create things for that demo. I mean, the DC superhero girls stuff, you know, the Teen Titans Go stuff, like all that. They're just. I mean, this kind of falls into that.
Sure, and it also, like, they announced like 3 shows for kids in a period of like 2 days or something, along with that Batman show. Animated Batman show. And I'm just it's just one of those things where I'm like, it feels like every other demographic in the DC fandom is getting what they want except for me. So that's like, I don't know, it's it sounds dumb, but that's every time something's announced, like, that's kind of the bell that goes off in the back of my head. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, I know that they're going to pump money into kids' superhero stuff. Like, it's a no-brainer. It's just a tick that I have.
I get it, Ryan. I know. I understand.
Yeah, they gotta have that stuff that they can market. They can make money. They can make money off of toys. You know, you're kind of limited with the Snyderverse. Some of the toys, especially, you know, kid related stuff. What do you? I mean,
I don't know. Have, like, the
Look,
Joker, I bought $1,000, $1,500 statue. That counts for like 1 million kids worth of Super Pets toys. So
we're gonna have like Jared Leto's Joker with the reach around action, you know, or something like that. Yeah.
If we're lucky, Ryan's going to definitely get that one. So it's going to be in his private collection. But yeah, the whole DC Super Pets was mainly announcing the cast and showing a little bit of the animation. Obviously, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was already announced, and then the rest of the cast. Kevin Hart. Apparently, The Rock can't do a movie without Kevin Hart, so it's just a natural. You got to get Kevin Hart. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's going to be in it. Yeah, expect a cameo from Kevin Hart in Black Adam. It'll happen. Well, look at there.
Oh, Al.
But no, John Krasinski is going to be in it. So that's
indeed. Awesome. Keanu Reeves, Kate McKinnon, Diego Luna, Natasha Lyonne. So yeah, cool. Pretty good cast. But yeah, I mean, like I said, this will be innocent fun. That's what I'm expecting it to be. Just like I enjoy the Teen Titans Go stuff, and this will probably, I mean, even the like DC superhero girl stuff. Luna watches that, and I enjoy that too. So this will be, you know, I assume it'll fall right into place with that stuff. So
yeah, we were watching. We spent about 3 hours watching Justice League Unlimited this afternoon when I got off work. So.
Yeah, great show.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the only other thing on the docket in terms of DC would be the little tease that James Wan dropped on Instagram, I believe, which was they're in production meetings for Aquaman. And I guess the big thing is just that the title of the sequel is going to be Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I don't really know what this is hinting at. I don't know what this is hinting at, except for maybe the land where Atlanta, what is her name? Atlanta. Where she ended up through the trench. That could be the Lost Kingdom. Somebody was putting on Twitter some sort of, in those Snyder storyboards, that this term was used.
It also could just be Atlantis.
Yeah, that was my thought. Was it was Atlantis?
So you guys are doing the literal. This is probably just nothing
Well,
special.
I mean, you trying to be Brit right now?
Yeah. So where does Mephisto come in?
Mephisto, yeah, he's responsible for all of it. And Agatha, that was her too.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, not a lot to that, but just that the title was announced, and that they're in production. So not actual like rolling cameras, but production meetings, pre-production, I assume.
I saw somewhere that why am I blanking right now? Who plays King Orm? Patrick Wilson. Yeah. He said that this one's going to be funnier than the last one, guys.
Sweet. I love funny. I love funny. Al, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be Ursula. Time will tell.
Yeah.
Ursula and Dinglehoppers. We'll have some of them. There we go.
Yeah.
Have to tag team that one with Disney.
There we go.
Yeah. Crossover. Okay. Let's move on to something that we don't talk about as much on this.
Welcome to the Brit section of the show.
Brit is not here, so we're going to act like we know things about Marvel. We don't.
Then he can watch it and tell us why we're wrong tomorrow.
Exactly.
So
a few things wrap production since we've talked.
Yeah.
One of those things is Thor: Love and Thunder, which Hemsworth announced.
Starring Chris Hemsworth arms.
Yep.
Jesus.
He's got some freaking gorilla arms on him.
Which he's also doing the Hulk Hogan biopic as well. So
this is true.
Yeah. He looks very Hulk Hogan right there. Minus the
I love
the ball.
I know everybody looked at Chris Hemsworth in this. Immediately I was looking at Taika and the Korg head. I was like, that's hilarious.
You know what's funny is I didn't even notice the Korg head until you just said that. That's funny.
So great.
What's your excitement level for this one as far as like in relation to how you felt about Ragnarok? I can't remember, Ryan, where you stood on Ragnarok. Alan, I don't know. I haven't talked to you about Ragnarok, period. So.
I was not excited for Ragnarok. And my first viewing of Ragnarok, I was very mad on the movie. But that movie has grown on me exponentially.
Is it mainly because of Korg?
No, but he certainly helps. Mick's dead.
It just fits dead.
Yeah, I get a little worried about like Ragnarok was fun because it was so stylized, but it wasn't like the costumes and all of this appear to be very like hair metal. You know, it was more like just music and color of Ragnarok that kind of gave that vibe. And you know, I will not write it off. Like I love a lot of what Taika does, so I'm obviously up for giving it a chance. I just, you know, I don't know. It feels a little on the nose, but after Ragnarok, so that obviously that's what people liked about that movie, and it feels like they're kind of like going a little bit further with it, like a very stylized film.
Yeah. Hemsworth, his getup in this, or at least the photos we've seen, feels very like Big Trouble in Little China inspired.
I can see that. Yep.
Yeah, and there's some.
Is it the white tank?
Yeah.
And I mean, that and the blue jeans. I mean, it's kind of
And there's some 80s.
It's very intentional.
Yeah, there's some 80s Thor vibes in there too. He's got the wraps on his forearms and on his calves, you know, over his boots. And those, if you look back at some of the early 80s Thor stuff, it's pretty much spot on. The yellow boots with the white straps. I mean, he pulled a lot from that, I think. Like you said, he's going for that more 80s kind of vibe.
Yeah. I saw that comment and I was just going to let it
But I actually I did some cross training, and one of the guys that I cross trained with, his name was Doug. So after I came back to my office, I was like, that's the same thing Doug used to say, like every time somebody would say something.
Another day, another Doug.
Another Doug.
Goodbye, new Doug.
I do need to go back and watch that again. I enjoyed it.
Didn't print enough pamphlets.
My whole thing about that movie was a little bit like, this is kind of more of a peeve than anything, and it's more of a personal thing. And it honestly, the resulting change in direction with Ragnarok was for the best because of the two preceding movies I didn't care for, but they completely changed the character of Thor in Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Probably for the better in terms of just it being a more enjoyable, fun movie.
Yeah.
But it just came out of left field. Like, it was such a departure from anything Hemsworth had done with that character before. But like I said, probably for the best, but it's just a little like,
I think so,
peeve that I had with it.
Yeah. I think, same thing. I think he was so rigid in the first two movies though. Like, I felt like the writing in Ragnarok gave him more of an opportunity to stretch his acting chops, and do a little more than what he had before that, instead of just being the beefcake on the screen,
Yeah. I mean, he is funny. Like,
But that's the thing about Hemsworth. He's got great comedic timing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Paired with obviously Taika Waititi and the things that, even, I know that Fat Thor is an eyesore for us, Ryan and myself. I'm not sure about Alan, how he feels about it, but I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of it either, especially them leaving him in his suit for the finale. Come on.
I mean, you know how badly that one spoiled Endgame for me. Like, and was not a fan of that. I was not a fan of that.
Nope.
But if you would have told me after Dark World that Thor would be the one getting a fourth movie, I would have told you were crazy. You know what I mean? That
That's
movie
true.
one just I was done with him after Dark. I did not like Dark World at all. I really
That's true.
Turned him around for sure.
It's true. And I was excited for Dark World, coming off of like Game of Thrones was at its height. Alan Taylor was a big part of Game of Thrones on the directing chair front. Yeah. And so I was like, man, a Thor movie, like a Game of Thrones-esque, like, Thor movie could be amazing. And it just was not.
Yeah.
It was just a snooze fest. But like I said, it's for the best that Taika took over the character. It just feels like a departure, whether that's good or bad. Mainstream wise, seems like it's good. And again, I prefer it. It's a peeve. So
they do a great job. Because in Ragnarok, he is very goofy. Like, he kind of plays the dumb blonde-ish type role at times, and they do a good job in Infinity War of like reeling that back. But he's got like little lines here and there that it kind of shows or shines through. But like, I just hope that he isn't. I hope they continue what they did with Infinity War with his ensemble movies, because I don't want him to get like, I don't know, turn into like the comic relief of Marvel. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. One other thing that I meant to bring up before we move on from that was the post from Hemsworth.
That was
wishing,
awesome.
That was awesome.
wishing Chris Evans a happy birthday. And also, I just forgot that Star-Lord and maybe some other Guardians folks are going to be in this movie. So
Yeah,
I think they're all in it. I think they were all actually in Australia filming.
it's a good. If I said all that earlier about it being really, musically stylized or whatever, but if you're gonna do it, I guess this is the time to do it with with that gang.
Yeah.
It's also going to be super interesting to see the Guardians characters in the hands of Taika.
Yeah.
It seems like that could be a really, really good fit for him.
The Asgardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Yep. Indeed. But yeah, the other thing that wrapped production is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Directed now by Sam Raimi. There was a photo. I could not find this photo. I saw it in the timeline. It was of Sam Raimi and a few other people. I think Benedict and some other people around the monitors. I could not find it anywhere. I saw it a couple weeks ago when they announced this, and now it's erased from the internet. I'm not sure.
I was about to say it's been a very quiet production. Like, people have been excited about the movie, but there hasn't been a lot that's.
Well, I think it's it's all been on closed sets, and so there hasn't been any leaks, set photos, anything like that. So, which could be interesting. Anytime there's closed set stuff, that means there's a lot of secret stuff going on, and they have lots of things in place to keep things from leaking out. So, and knowing that this is a multiverse thing, hopefully that's a good sign.
Right.
Hopefully it's not one of those MCU TV shows things where they hint at crazy things that could happen and don't deliver on anything. So we shall see. Y'all got anything to add to that? You have any excitement levels as far as whether it's Sam Raimi directing or the movie itself?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm of the MCU stuff, like solely MCU stuff. This is what I'm most excited for. I'm just more eons more excited about kind of what their Sony setting up with Spider-Man and Spider-Man 3, how that shapes up compared to what the MCU's got going right now. But that's just me.
Yeah, I like the lack of photos and leaked images and things of that nature, because you have no idea. I mean, we have no clue if Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield or any of these other people are going to be in this movie. You know, I mean, and the fact that
I think it's going to be in the Spider-Man movie, if anything.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but like that's why I was.
But I mean, I guess there is a possibility with the Raimi connection that he could
it
also
could roll over some. But the Spider-Man, you know.
Hello, Katie.
The Spider-Man social media accounts are trolling fans now that are wanting the trailer. You know, I like what they're doing. I like that Marvel and Sony are both keeping things, playing them close to the vest or whatever.
Agreed.
Indeed. Well said, Alan. Well said. The next thing I know nothing about, so I'm going to let you guys handle it if you have any knowledge about this, and that is that Aaron Taylor Johnson is playing Kraven the Hunter, which can be completely honest. I don't know anything about Kraven the Hunter, so you guys can take the lead on this one. I do know about Aaron Taylor Johnson, and I like Alan Taylor Johnson. So you
didn't see that coming? No, he was not my choice for this role for sure. But if you're trying to set up the possible Sinister Six, in my opinion, the Kraven is by far better than some of your other options that you got out there. I'm excited, and he's a hell of an actor. I've pretty much liked everything he's been in. You know, so I'm excited to see what they do. It seems like Sony's kind of heading in the right direction, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, we've talked about this before, but on the Sony side, that's what's exciting for me when it comes to Marvel.
Agreed.
Now, that may come to bite me in the butt, but it's just on face value what's on the dock. It's like that's that's the Venom and Spidey stuff.
Upside, it could be awesome. Downside, I think you'll get your really hot and cold like Fox mutant stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Which, and I still like I said, I watched New Mutants recently, and I actually quite enjoyed that movie. And I don't know, I do realize that like Apocalypse and whatever, they have some pretty big misses on that front, but I love the world that they set up there. So I'm interested in seeing how or what Sony does with kind of building out a character portfolio beyond just Spider-Man.
Yeah,
for sure. It's so funny. I almost forgot that there was a Morbius movie that was done and ready to come out.
Yeah.
Starring Jared Leto. and Michael Keaton, probably in the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I was going to say. They're like we talked about. They're teeing it up. They can do some really, really cool stuff. I'm fingers crossed.
Agreed.
Yeah. So I guess really the only other thing that's on the Marvel side of things that we could touch on, which came out yesterday, was, and I'm sorry, video games, I know, they announced and showed some footage of the Guardians of the Galaxy video game. Mm-hmm. Did you guys see that trailer?
I did not. Is this like based on the movies, or is it like the Avengers game that everybody's gonna whine about because it's too close to the?
So it's not based on the movies. It's basically taking the same approach as that Spider-Man PlayStation game.
Okay.
So it's its own. Now I don't know if it's connected in any way to the Spider-Man verse that's on PlayStation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the character models are all different, and voice acting and stuff is all different.
Yeah.
This, and I haven't seen the trailer or whatever, but this makes me feel like we're gonna have a Avengers situation again. Like, if you wouldn't have told me that this was a video game, I probably would have been glancing at it if I would have thought it was like some art based on the movie.
Yeah. The main departure as far as character models are going to be Drax and Gamora.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're more true to the comic version as opposed to the movie versions. But, there's only so many ways you can make a tree man look. You know what I mean? He's going to look like he was in the movie, more than likely, in a raccoon running around. There's only so much you can do with that. He's going to look a lot like it. But
make Groot a crepe myrtle.
There you go. Yeah. A Bradford pear. God, I hate those things.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the trailer. It looks like it could be good. I really enjoyed the Spider-Man game that
agreed.
Was it Insomniac that did that?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what publisher is doing this, but it looked, I think it's a kind of a RPG. I believe it's third person. I could be wrong about that, but it looks like it could be promising, but the whole RPG element immediately is a red flag for me. I'm not a big open world RPG guy. I like linear stories.
Yeah.
I just have a hard time when games are more and more open world. It's intimidating to me because I want a finite experience. I don't want to feel like I'm missing out on a different type of experience that could get.
I'm like the opposite with I love Knights of the Old Republic. Like, that's my favorite games. And this is not what you're describing at all.
No, well, that's it. Like I have a hard time committing to choices in games like that because like even like small things like Splinter Cell series, like you can play it in different ways. I like to play Splinter Cell as, I don't know if you guys played that, but I play it in like stealth, like as a stealth player. And if I ever get caught, reset. I don't want anybody to catch me. I got to make it through completely stealthy the entire game. But you can play that game as an action game if you wanted to. So like, I don't like the more open-ended things, the more intimidating they are. And it's a personal issue. It probably stems from my childhood somewhere. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But anyway, so that's a little bit of red flag. I haven't played the Marvel Avengers game. Like I said, I have played the Spider-Man game, loved it. I'm playing the Miles Morales game right now on PS5, enjoying it. It's
How
on
is
the
it
same
compared
level
to
as the Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
I mean, besides the fact that it's on PS5 and you've got 60 frames per second, a lot better graphic fidelity, it's more the same, which is not a bad thing. It's good. Story is solid so far. But yeah. So yeah, that's it. That'll probably wrap up the Marvel section of news that we have. Moving on to Star Wars. Star Wars we haven't talked about in a while. Star Wars has been a little kind of, as far as news, we got a few things in production. One of the things that's not in production is Rangers of the New Republic. They announced that was being canned on a production standpoint. Ryan, is your mic muted?
Sorry, my dog's barking. Yeah,
I saw your lips moving.
This one,
I
don't know. It doesn't like they had that huge announcement of all those shows last year, or maybe it was earlier this year. I can't remember, but this was among the ones that I was not real stoked about.
I agree. I mean, it's one of those Star Wars for me. Like, if it's
lightsabers,
you gotta have lightsabers, man. Force powers and lightsabers. If you don't, you're not hooking me as much. Like, I'll tune in. I'll watch.
I get it.
But I need some lightsabers. I know some people are like it, like they'll take whatever, but
yeah,
I love some lightsabers. I don't know about you. What do you think, Alan?
Oh, I love lightsabers too. Everybody loves lightsabers. I love them like Dave Chappelle. I found your lightsaber, but no, I honestly, this is more of, I listen to you guys a lot on the Star Wars stuff. Don't get me wrong. I know I've seen every movie. I've watched The Mandalorian all the way through, and I actually haven't watched any of the Bad Batch at all. Mm-hmm. But and I haven't read all the books like Ryan over there. So I'm very much.
He only did that recently, so it's not like he's a long time book reader. So
I'm a
Brandon just can't give me that.
Yeah. I'm more of a frame.
I never learned to read. Way to rub it in my face.
Picture frame word bubble reader. That's my thing. So
you should try comic books. You might like them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this show is not happening anymore. It's probably more than anything the Gina Carano stuff. I imagine that's why they canceled it. So
could be.
If I had
I'm
to guess.
so stoked for the Obi-Wan stuff. It's in production right now. I'm ready for some Ewan McGregor.
Same.
I did see he did a good.
Well, we're probably about to say the same thing. Go ahead.
Oh no, I watched an interview where he was talking about someone asked him like what it was like to be back in the costume, and he was like, it's it's a little different than you might expect. So I'm interested to see what that means.
Well, the thing that I was going to say was him saying that it was the first time he'd ever shared the screen with a stormtrooper. Because he was it was clone troopers, and B, they were all CG.
Yeah.
So, God, like, go back and watch those movies. Those clone troopers are hideous. Like, as far as fidelity, it looks like a PS2 game.
Well, look, those movies are in general, like, everything was shot on green screen. Everything. I know. There were like no set pieces.
I just don't. It's the whole Ian Malcolm thing.
The stuff in Coruscant, anything in Coruscant in those movies, which is an awesome city, but it just looks so bad.
Yeah.
It looks so bad.
What's funny is, and I get it, they're trying to push the envelope with CG, but I was listening to the commentary with some of the VFX guys. Every scene, this is all CG. We created this all in CG. I'm like, yeah, you can tell.
At the end of the day, like, a mixture of practical and CG is what's going to get the job done.
Yeah. We've definitely learned that, and I get it. I mean, it's one of those things where, again, with Lucasfilm, they're obviously trying to push the envelope. So
yeah, and the tech that they've got with the I can't remember what it's called, but the big circular set where they can throw imagery up,
the volume
around. Yeah. I'm sure, and I know Ewan McGregor mentioned working with that has been really cool compared to his original experience on Star Wars. So,
Indeed. Yeah, I'm also excited for that. But one of the other things, so the Obi-Wan show is in production. One of the things that has finished production is the Book of Boba Fett.
Boba.
As far as physical production, I'm sure it's in post. But one of the announcements that we got this week was that Robert Rodriguez is coming back to direct a few of the episodes in this series.
Yep.
And I don't think we knew that. I think we knew that he was involved on a producing front, but I don't think we knew that he was directing just yet. But Alan, you said that you watched all of the Mandalorian stuff, correct?
Yes.
So being a casual Star Wars fan, were you pumped to see Boba Fett come back? Did you know that Boba Fett was coming back prior to watching it? Like what? Because we knew Boba Fett was coming based on just because we pay attention to this stuff, and as soon as we saw Tamora Morrison as a sand person or in disguise, we're like, oh well, what's happening.
Boba.
So, yeah. Just curious what your experience was with that.
I love the way that they brought him back. I love the way they introduced him. Actually, while hang on, let me grab this. Mandy was actually sitting next to me earlier on, and our next cosplay is going to be
nice.
Yeah, we're gonna do I'm gonna be Boba Fett. Cal's gonna be the Mandalorian, and we haven't figured out who Mandy and Trey are gonna be yet. But she's already built Baby Yoda.
Mandy needs to be Ahsoka.
Yes, that's okay. So that's her. That's actually hers right there that she's building right now. So it's got the
that's
smaller.
not Ahsoka. That's not Ahsoka.
No,
you look dumb right now.
Look, man, you're real close to Bo-Katan right there.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. That's what he's meaning.
That's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah.
All these
it's
names.
Okay, Alan. Listen. I'm intentionally being a dick. I don't mean anything I'm saying. No. Bo-Katan is Al will not be excited because he does not like Katie Sackhoff. But
yes, that's an understatement.
But yeah, that's cool.
But
Bo-Katan,
that's our next
good choice.
Cosplay.
Nice koozie there, Allie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I had to go buy frosty beverages to put in it before we got started tonight.
You said you're gonna be Boba, she's gonna be Bo-Katan. Cal is gonna be.
Cal will be Mando.
Mando.
And I'm not sure. We haven't figured. We honestly, Trey's 14. He may or may not do it at all. But
right.
we have the animatronic Grogu, and then we have his pod.
Okay.
So
nice.
She had already built that. So
gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys need to help me figure out who Trey's going to be because I don't know enough about.
So if you're doing that series, you could do one of the other. One of the other Mandalorians, or you could
just do Boba Fett.
Yeah,
that's what he's doing.
That's who I'm going to be.
Oh, you're doing Boba Fett.
Trey could be. What was it? Oliver Fett's character, wasn't he the Marshal? Trey could just be the Marshal.
Don't do that. He sucks. Yeah. You could be. You could be IG-11.
Could be Luke.
Yeah, you could be Luke. It's true.
I could do that.
Just don't show your face.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I can't.
Or just get some Vaseline, pour all over your face.
Yeah. I can't. Right now, I'm having
print out a blurry picture of Mark Hamill and just stick it on your face.
I'm having a really hard time, doing any cosplay that changes my facial hair. I do not want to shave, so it's kind of limiting what I can do.
Look,
we'll get back to you. We'll do some.
Shave.
Hey, I could just have a half-assed mouth,
Right. Print out skin tone and just tape it on your face.
It's like a river.
Yeah.
We don't do that one. We don't say that. Nope.
It's like my dad.
Let's strike one out.
This man I knew.
You're about to strike out, buddy. You already said that you hadn't played The Last of Us, and you used the Justice League quote. You got one more strike. All right.
Tight shit.
We need an Allen strike counter.
There we go.
Anyway, yeah, I'm excited for this show.
Me too.
And it's gonna be interesting because it seemed like they said that it's gonna be kind of showing Boba Fett pre-Mando as far as from Empire to Mando. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they approach that. And I assume it will also pick up after that end credits scene in Mando where he's taking over Jabba's palace.
Yeah, I did read that where they said it was going to be like a Mando season 2.5 as well. Like they're going to kind of tie in towards the end of the Book of Boba Fett into season 3 of Mandalorian.
I just want to see what happens with the Sarlacc pit. That's what I'm in it for.
That's the thing, man. I honestly, those things never, they always disappoint. That's the thing about prequels. It's like some things are just better left unturned, you know? And I always worry when they try to over-explain things, especially in Star Wars. It's never really worked out in Star Wars, in my opinion, except for like Rogue One was actually really good.
You just let Rob Rod do his thing, all right?
Rob Rod? I just don't need the Solo movie. I know you liked it, Ryan, especially when they try and do like, this is how Solo, he got his name's Han. Oh, what's your last name? I don't know.
Yeah.
Solo.
That's not the reason I like that movie, nor is the Kessel Run sequence.
But they just can't, can't help themselves with that kind of thing. And so I just feel like, I hope this is not the case. I hope it's not one of those things where they try and like, you know, give answers to things that just are better left unknown. And that Sarlacc stuff is probably best left alone, but I'm sure they'll address it. So we'll report back when it comes out. All right. So that's it with Star Wars. We get into our miscellaneous section, which kind of encompasses a few other superhero / geek stuff. One of those things isn't, Ryan, I know that you watched Jupiter's Legacy. And I also know that it did not get renewed for a new season. And I also know that they reported that this show cost $200 million. And based on everything I've heard,
I don't know where. I can tell you why they didn't get a season 2, because I don't know where the $200 million went to make this show.
Yeah. Well, just the small amount of footage that I saw from it did not compute with that figure.
The effects. This show makes DCCW stuff look like Zack Snyder content. It's bad. Like the flight sequences, combat sequences, it's terrible. And even the like on the practical side, like the makeup they did on Josh Duhamel, like it's a potential for a really cool look, but they like tried to age him with prosthetics, and it was so distractingly bad.
Yeah. I mean, it looks bad just from the publicity photos.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I don't really know anything about this show other than it was very expensive and it's canceled.
The storyline towards the end was intriguing, but I'm just not shocked at all that it got canceled.
Canceled. Alan, did you watch this show?
I didn't. The 200 million though, at Josh Duhamel's codpiece, it looked like, maybe from the Goblin King from the Labyrinth. So that's where the money went. It was that giant codpiece he had. But no, but it just, I don't know. I was gonna start it, and then when the news broke that they canceled it, I was like, "Well, I'm not doing that now." That
definitely like Daredevil season 3 for Brandon.
Yeah, there's a lot of things like that. I think Jessica Jones last season, it got canceled as it aired, and I was like, "Nope." Oh well. Well, yeah. I mean, we'll see. It seemed like they had a lot of trouble behind the scenes with showrunners and such. I know Stephen Knight, I think he left. It's like the second show that Stephen Knight has left. He was part of Daredevil as well.
Man, I want to see more of that show.
I know.
I love that show.
Yeah. Maybe I'll check out the 3rd season one day. Speaking of a show you love, show we love, I assume, Alan, you love it as well.
Soldier Boy.
Production photo of is it Jensen Ackles?
Jensen Ackles. Yeah.
I'm so stoked for this.
I am too.
Now, do you guys have any association with this character, or or with. I know that he's in Supernatural.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we watched every episode of Supernatural all the way through. So.
I watched up to like season 7 maybe, and I know it like doubled at least.
Yeah.
But he's great in that show,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he's going to fit right in with this cast on The Boys.
So is he supposed to be a foil to Homelander?
Well, they're going a different route from the source material. Like from what I read, from what I did read, is Soldier Boy was a bit of a rube.
You're saying Soldier Boy like the
Soldier
rapper.
Boy up in that.
Put some respect on his name.
Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy,
tell him.
But he was more of like, some of the stuff that I've seen is he was kind of a joke. He wasn't what they're going to make him out to be in the show.
He's famous for, I think he's famous for like peeing himself.
Yeah. That's like if you Google images of him, that's one of the main ones is going to be him pissing himself. So that's what you're going to see. Like scared, not even, you can't even say he was drunk. He looks like he's shaking and pissing himself. But from what I've read, they said he's going to be,
he sounds like he's he is a very like righteous type character in the source material. It looks like, obviously I have not read the that content, but I love him in Supernatural.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else I've seen him in, but I just feel like he's gonna meld right into what they've got going on that show so perfectly.
I think so too.
And you know how I feel about The Boys in general. So
yeah. I mean, it's exciting. I don't have a lot of background knowledge of the character, but I love that show. So
yeah.
Definitely excited for anything. Well, cool. So I guess the only other thing that we have left as far as on the news front is something that I am very excited about. And I assume Ryan is too. Well, it's gonna be debatable when it comes to Alan. We'll find out in a minute. But yeah, they announced that they're doing a Lord of the Rings animated feature. Is it a feature or a series?
I thought it was feature
anime film. So yeah,
I thought it was a film.
So and it's being done from the guy, I'm gonna probably butcher his name, Kenji Kamiyama. He did a Blade Runner animated thing and Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, which I didn't see, but that's its creds. But it's also tied to the Peter Jackson stuff, which is exciting for me. And it's gonna basically be like a prequel for the Helm's Deep, basically a Helm's Deep origin story of sorts.
Yeah.
Now that Philippa Bowens is attached in the writing department, I believe, and she was a big piece of the writing with all of Peter Jackson's stuff. Her and Fran Welsh. I believe I can't remember. One of them is Peter's wife. I can't remember which one it is. But yeah, I love that it is in the same with a lot of the same creatives and is going to be tied to that universe, because I don't know how the Amazon series, if it is or isn't connected with the cinematic portrayals, or if it's just going to be
I feel like it will be. It's to some extent they won't be able to help themselves with that, but this is a marriage of two things I love. I love anime and I love Lord of the Rings. I think that I'm so excited to see how they're going to portray Lord of the Rings style action in an anime series. It's going to be awesome.
I agree. I know that you're big into anime. I'm not so much, but I love animation. So it just depends on what kind of style they go with. But content wise, it's not going to be a thing that's going to like turn me off completely. Like I still haven't finished Invincible because I'm just not in love with the animation style, even though I like the story. But with this, I could just have to flip the pages and make it animate, and I'd still watch it. You know,
right.
I'm already.
So are you saying that you're willing to read? You're talking about flipping pages. Sorry.
No, flipping the pages so that it animates. You flip them fast enough. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So, Alan, what's your relationship to the LOTR?
I am a fan. We own all of the movies, the extended cuts for the Peter Jackson series and the Hobbits. You know, so we.
Do you have any artillery? Do you have any swords? Maybe a staff?
Oh, I have a Hobbit cloak with the pin with the.
Nice.
Oh, you just saved yourself. I had the remove from stream button ready.
We have the golden the leaf.
You almost
almost
got the third strike.
I'm good, and actually somebody gave us that. I didn't actually buy it, but there we go.
Should have said that. Okay, cool. You have excitement for this?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you, Brandon. I don't know. It depends on the style of anime. Like I love the animatrix, but there are a few things that I was not crazy. You know what I mean? There are styles of anime that I'm not crazy about. You know, so I loved Invincible. Brandon, you need to hurry the hell up and finish that so we can chat it up. I'm ready here, man.
Yeah,
you're killing me, dude.
I know.
But yeah,
you can still feel free to chat up. I'm not going to stop you. It's my fault. So
I'm not going to do that. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. But no, I am excited. I am excited for that. I'm excited for the Amazon series. We'll be checking both of those out for sure.
Nice. Cool. All right. Well, yeah. So that's going to wrap up the news. Unless anybody has anything that I missed, I tried to get as much as possible.
Good.
All right. Let's hit some trailers, and then we'll get some stuff that we've watched. We'll go through these pretty quickly. A few Marvel trailers actually dropped in the last couple of weeks. One of those was Shang-Chi and then Legend of the Ten Rings, which I didn't have room to write that whole title without it bumping into that play symbol. So I was just like, I'm just going to put Shang-Chi. Let's not get obnoxious with our name titles, guys. Okay, I only have so many characters.
Think about CAPECAST before you name the movie.
Yeah. But yeah, what do you guys think of this trailer?
I actually enjoyed this trailer until the stinger.
Yeah. Agreed.
I don't know why. And the same with the Eternals. I don't know why they feel the need to do this. It's so annoying. The like stupid little
they gotta marvel it up. That's
things that aren't actually funny at the end.
Well, I'll be honest. As soon as I saw that Aquafina was in this, I was like, "Oh man, I don't know. That's gonna."
I honestly didn't even know who that was until you pointed out that was that girl, and I know that girl's super annoying because my wife loves Crazy Rich Asians, and she's in that movie, and she's super annoying in that movie.
Yeah.
So now I'm kind of in the same boat.
I just feel like
if they hired her for that reason. Which
no, that's true. I know that she was in a more serious movie. What was it called? I think she won some awards for it. Is it where she's like toned down and it is a more dramatic role? But yeah,
the stinger in this was pretty much put a nail in the coffin that would be any role other than that.
Yeah, well, I just recently watched Raya and Last Dragon, which she's in, and for the part she was in, I thought she was fine. She didn't bother me, but I like the action choreography in this.
Agreed.
I'm not like I don't know the source material.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah. I mean, it's definitely more physical. I mean, it feels like it could be. I mean, it's definitely has potential to be something different in the MCU. Mm-hmm. And I know that the whole Ten Rings thing, a lot of people didn't care for that twist in Iron Man 3. I actually liked it.
I agree.
Personally.
Yeah.
I like Ben.
Coming.
I like his take on that spin. Had it been any other actor, I don't know if I would have actually liked it at all. I think he pulled that part off. But I'm also hoping that's
what makes it so great is
Yeah.
that you get this actor like Kingsley.
He's like on methadone nodding out over there. I mean, God, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's so funny. But I do hope that the Mandarin gets that they do get a proper version, because he was a really cool villain in the comics. So
sure.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, it looks promising.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that I'm like over the moon excited for it, but I'm more excited for it than like Black Widow, some of the other things that are on the dock. One of the other things, Ryan, did you have anything else you wanted to say?
Nope. Good.
Oh, I thought I heard which typically would be, you're about to say something, but
nope.
Okay.
I'm good.
Cool. All right. So one of the other trailers that came out a week or two ago was the Eternals trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know, Ryan, you were not impressed with this trailer.
I liked the visual elements. I liked cinematography, but I don't know. It just feels.
You didn't like the stinger. I didn't either. None of us did.
Yeah.
I don't know. Alan May liked it, but
I don't know. I just hope it's kind of like with Shang-Chi. Like Shang-Chi, watching the trailer, I felt like, oh, okay, this could be something that feels different from really any Marvel movie we've gotten. I get a little afraid that story-wise, it's just going to kind of, I don't know, come and go. I hope that's not the case. I just want different with Marvel now.
Well,
I feel like that's all.
Honestly, for me, that's what this trailer screamed. That's why I was like, man, this looks like a real movie. It doesn't look like a Marvel movie. I mean, obviously, it's got the superhero stuff, but the way it's filmed, and I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that they did the whole like Revenant approach, where they filmed at magic hour, like natural light as much as possible. And it just looks more cinematic than any other thing that I've seen from MCU. And so that in itself, and the whole like just this whole like, I don't know, fantasy. It looks more fantasy than.
I agree.
Yeah.
I fell into like halfway through the trailer, I was just getting like Captain Marvel vibes, and I'm just not a Captain Marvel fan.
I can see that.
So yeah, I don't know.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's got a really good cast, pretty stacked cast, a lot of talented people, and then obviously Chloe Zhao behind the camera, who is high off of her Academy Award run with Nomadland. So a lot of hype behind her going into it, which they're obviously going to, push for this one. But no, I mean, I minus the stinger, which is eye rolly, as they all are.
I think the stinger bothered me with this one so much because it kind of like what you're saying. The trailer itself is a little bit more like ethereal, like it's, I don't know, its own thing, and then they just have to fall. They keep that whole trap like. It just brought the whole trailer like back down to earth so much for me.
Oh yeah, I don't disagree with you.
Well, for me, I guess I look at it as Marvel. It's Marvel. Marvel's going to do that. There's going to be those, even in Infinity War, which was a pretty serious movie. They still had plenty of, zingers plugged in. But what I thought was really cool was, as far as the source material goes, and giving these actors other roles, you got Rob Stark saying that, he could take over. But in the comics, Black Knight, which is Kit's character in the movie, actually took over as the leader of the Avengers for a time when Captain America stepped down. So it was funny that the brother of the other character, in the Game of Thrones series, he threw out that he could be the leader.
I think there's a lot of stuff that kind of gets lost on me with Marvel like that because I just don't know the comics as well. I think kind of when I say that I want it to be different, like I almost like when this movie was rumored or whatever, I was kind of hoping that it was like almost going to be its own thing. So the stinger wasn't even necessarily the humor. It was just the fact that like to really like have to bring Iron Man and Captain America like into this movie, like is that?
It seems like that was it was obviously a way for them to let casual audiences know that this is connected to the Avengers movies that you love. Like it's very intentional on their part in terms of marketing.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, this movie does look so different. And also, in my opinion, it looks a little more, at least from a filmography, cinematic approach, it just looks a little more highbrow than most of the cookie cutter stuff Marvel does.
Sure.
They want to get that across, besides having the Marvel logo in front of it, making sure people know that this is connected to that universe.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's
because nothing else would give you that indication if you didn't have, that. So that's just all right. So then the other one thing that came out, which was today, trailer wise, was something that I'm actually looking forward to, which is the Teen Titans Go See Space Jam little spinoff that they're doing. I don't think it's a movie. I think it's more of a commentary of Space Jam. And which is going to be, Ryan, I know you don't really watch this show. Alan, do you watch Teen Titans?
Oh God, I love it, man. I love it. Me and Cal had our geek out moment when I saw this commercial the other day. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this. And then when the Monstars take the little guy there in the photo right in front of Robin, when they all take their traits or whatever, and and then that little short guy is just still the little short guy because Robin has no talent. Like that's just, oh God, it was hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, I love the Teen Titans Go to the Movies movie. It's so great. Like, Ryan, I don't know if
I've seen clips of this show like and it is like what I've seen is funny. It's just something that I don't have kids. I'm not gonna sit down and watch it.
Yeah, you bet. I wish I could blame it. I wish I could blame it on my kids, but I leave it on when they're not here. So
yeah, your kids are getting grown too, Alan. So
yeah. So it's still going to be on.
Sorry, man, you're just weird.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to keep Cal at that, interested in all this. So like I said, we're doing the Justice League Unlimited and Superman the animated series right now. So
yeah.
But yeah.
Yep. So pretty much in time for the new Space Jam movie coming out. They were releasing this in tandem, which will be fun because at least in my household, Space Jam is held in high regard. Watch it pretty often, actually. And also watch Teen Titans Go. So this is going to be a good crossover type experience to watch before the new movie comes out. So looking forward to it. Should be some good, innocent family fun. Okay, so that's going to be trailers. Let's talk about, actually, I'm going to let you guys talk about this. And feel free to say whatever you want to, which is episode 1 of Loki dropped last week. And I believe this is dropping on Wednesdays. I just haven't had a chance to check it out. And do you guys have anything that you want to say spoiler-wise? Should we put a spoiler bumper ahead of this? Or do you want to keep it
Are you planning on watching the show or not?
I am going to watch it. But
okay.
I'm not. I really don't care. You guys, I want to see it. Out of the Marvel TV shows, this is the one I want to see. But as far as spoilers, I'm fine. Like, say what you want to say. I really don't. It doesn't matter. Right. So we can go.
Bam.
Okay.
Spoilers.
Never gets old.
So go for it.
Alan, I know you are a bigger fan of the show than I am, which I guess is not surprising because I feel like I'm like the Debbie Downer of Marvel stuff. So after WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, and we've talked about it before, I'm trying very hard to keep these Disney Plus Marvel shows like mentally, like my expectations super low, like trying to keep what I'm, as far as like how it's related to like the greater MCU down. Like I'm just trying to temper everything. And going into the show, like of the 3 shows, this is probably the one that I'm most excited for, and I am curious to. I think I said I'm definitely gonna check out the next episode.
Yeah.
I say all of that because it's really hard for me to temper my expectations with shows with these shows when they literally open this show up with Endgame footage. like I'm like expecting them to like maybe like show a different angle of something that's, you know, what's going on in that movie, or like Zack Snyder style, you know what I mean? But they literally it's just kind of like they roll the footage of Endgame, and immediately like I'm just like throwing away all of my tempered expectations. I'm like, okay, well maybe this is going to be a larger scale show, and then like immediately it's not. So it's just, I feel I'm struggling so hard with these Marvel Disney Plus shows to like keep them in a bubble when they don't even really keep them in a bubble.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. I am curious to see. I was kind of expecting more charisma, or I don't know what the word is. I'm having a Brandon moment, but between Owen Wilson and Loki,
Chemistry.
That's the one.
Chemically.
I was expecting more chemistry between them in the first episode. I'm hoping that gets a little bit more.
Yeah.
Evolves a little bit more. Because it seemed like that's what everybody was praising. But yeah, like I don't know. I'm just very meh on it on the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm gonna check out second, but I'm just very meh on the first episode. What do you think, Alan?
I'm a little higher on it than that. I personally, I don't know. I guess I felt like maybe the callback to Endgame gave you it. I guess it was for more of some of the folks who were just watching the show, and they may not have remembered where this Loki, this version, is supposed to take off at. So they kind of had to give that. I know that they could have probably did it at a different angle, you know, like you were saying, to give up just strictly his perspective instead of the literal camera motion that was in the movie. You know,
I just kept waiting for it. I was just waiting for it the whole time.
Yeah. But I do like some of the other callbacks that we talked about in the group text, you know, the other day. You weren't a fan of some of the Avengers footage, but like for me, those moments where the 2012 Loki, which is who this character is in the show, was seeing those moments that he's bound and determined that he's burdened with glorious purpose. You know what I mean? Like he is going to rule the universe. Yeah. And then to see all of it fall to crap, that's for me, there was some pretty heavy stuff in there. Mm-hmm. Or, so I personally, Loki's like maybe one of my favorite villains throughout the whole Marvel universe.
I'm like the opposite of you. He feels like whack-a-mole to me with Marvel.
They just keep popping back up.
Yeah.
But I think they left the door open to do some really cool things. I like the way they started it with basically taking this guy who, he had gotten flung around by Hulk and beat up pretty good before the TVA got a hold of him, but he was pretty high on his horse, and then just a few minutes of watching his greatest hits after that moment drop them down a few pegs. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I'm interested to see what they do. I guess is what I'm saying. Like I said in our group text, this was the show. I mean, I was excited about some of the others, but this is the show that I wanted. I want this one to do good.
Yeah.
I don't know if it will, but
it will. It's Disney.
Yeah.
Well, do good in terms of new viewers, sure.
Yeah.
But I think he means
I want to enjoy watching it.
Got it.
I did for the first episode. It definitely hooked me, and I'm ready for the next one for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So no spoilers. Shouldn't have rolled the thing.
No.
I mean, there were some spoilers.
Yeah.
That's okay. Just kidding. Just kidding.
You're so funny, Brandon.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm planning on watching. I'm hoping to have this episode and the new episode in the bag by the next time we record, so I'll be able to talk about it because I know everybody is waiting on bated breath to know what I think about this show. So, all right. One thing that I actually watched, Ryan, I don't know if you've watched it yet. Alan, I believe you have.
No, but I'm interested in checking it out because of you.
Sweet Tooth on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
And I am 3 episodes in. Alan, I know you had said you watched the first one. Have you watched any more since?
We are 6 episodes in. We have 2 yeah. We got on a bit of a roll yesterday and just kept watching it. Like we couldn't stop.
That's a good sign. It's a good sign. Are you watching this the whole family?
Yeah. Well, Trey and Cal, they come in and out. They're not nearly as intent on continuing on the story. They'll just come in and say, "Okay, what happened?" And I'm like, "Well, you weren't in here, so screw you. You don't know what's happening." But
kids today.
Their attention span. Cal's got whatever devices in his hand, watching YouTube while while we're watching TikTok or CAPECAST or whatever these jackasses are in. I'm just like,
gross. Go Rose. So I'll let you go first, since you're a little deeper into it than I.
Don't spoil this for me.
You obviously seem like you're enjoying it. You seem like you went on a little bit of a binge. This is 8 episodes, I'm pretty sure. So you're almost done.
Yeah, so we're almost done. But
no spoilers.
No spoilers. But the multi-angle storytelling is really cool. It's the way that all of these other characters are converging together is really, really cool. I'm enjoying what's happening. I mean, there's been several like tug at your heartstring moments, and I love it. I had the hardest time convincing Mandy to even give this show a shot. I was like, well, it's about these animal hybrids, and she was like, yeah, I don't really care about that. Like that was pretty much
right.
It. But I talked her into watching the first episode, and she was hooked as well. But and you guys were talking about the Marvel DC Disney crossover. This may be as close as we ever get with Robert Downey Jr. and his wife as the executive producers for this show. Yeah.
Well, what's notable about this is obviously we've talked about this when it got announced, but the whole fact that Warner Brothers has licensed this to come to Netflix. And when you start the show, it has the WB logo. And I'm like, can you please, for the love of God, if you don't want to make your own Snyder stuff, license it to Netflix. Let them do it over there. They will happily, I'm sure they will happily pay because they're smart. They see the numbers.
Sweet
they know
Tooth is one thing. Yeah. Batman and Superman is another.
Doesn't matter. I don't care.
So you're saying there's
I don't care either, but they may care.
One can dream,
Yeah,
you're right.
I was in the same boat when I saw that WB logo there at the beginning. I was like, they're just flaunting it out for everybody to see, We're working with Netflix on this one,
It's something. I mean, who knows? Who knows?
I don't know.
I'm not saying there's any merit to it by any means. It doesn't mean anything. But I'm just saying, hey, it happened with this property. I know it was a Vertigo property, or I heard it was a Vertigo. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. Somebody said it's a Vertigo property that's now owned by DC.
Yeah.
That's probably why. But even still, it's like, and I know that they're also doing the Sandman thing on Netflix, right? That animated thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. They are.
Excited.
That looks really cool too. Yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, Sweet Tooth. I am enjoying so far. I told Ryan when we were at the lake that it's I mean, it's no pun intended. It's a sweet show. Like it's very sweet as far as
It really
like
is. Yeah.
it's an endearing show. And the characters are good. I think that it gives me a lot of like old like Spielberg 80s vibes in terms of like the just the approach. Alan, we lost your video feed, but it says you're still in. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'll keep going.
Okay. Talk to me, Brandon.
Well, talk to somebody. I'll talk to you that hasn't seen the show. But no, I mean, it's I also said this, it's very timely with the whole pandemic we just went through, going through, whatever. If you don't know, it's about like a virus that kind of kills a certain percentage, a high percentage of people. It's still a virus that is continuing to take out people. Some people seem to be immune to it. Others are at risk. There's a lot of like mask wearing to try and protect themselves against the virus. There's temperature checkpoints, things like that. So it's very timely in that regard, which is interesting because I'm pretty sure this was filmed all pre-COVID stuff. So, and obviously the comic, if it is drawing from the comic came out well before that as well. So it's just an interesting parallel considering. But even outside of that, it's it's good. It's something that for me has the perfect balance of it's got a really interesting premise. It's tangible for a younger kid to be able to approach and watch, like my daughter. It has stuff that she can get out of it. Some stuff is a little bit over her head, so I have to kind of dumb it down and explain it to her. But yeah, like Alan was saying, there are a few different timelines that they're jumping back and I don't know if it's like time. Yeah, it is timeline. So there's different characters in different parts of this pandemic that you're cutting back and forth to and from.
Like Witcher style?
I don't know. I haven't watched Witcher, so
gotcha.
I know that a lot of people that watched The Witcher said that was confusing at times. As far as like, I assume it's like you don't know at the times that you're watching that you're cutting back and forth in different times. This,
Yeah.
So it's super approachable in terms of that format. Okay. But I think that the only kind of like thing I would so far, the only downsides to it is like some of the action could have been staged a little better. It's not as kinetic as I would like it to be. The two leads, the young boy and Big Man, as he calls him, the boys' acting chops so far are serviceable, but could be better. Same with Big Man, serviceable, but could be a little bit better. But everybody else is good. Will Forte, he's in it. He's good. And the other unknown actors and actresses that are in it are all good so far, and the other parallel timelines and things. But yeah, so far, like I said, I'm only 3 episodes in, so I don't know how it progresses. But by Alan's account, it seems like it gets binge worthy.
Yeah, you get some really cool backstory for some of the characters in it that makes their attitudes, their demeanor. It makes a little more sense once you get those. Ryan, there's some sports stuff in there, Ryan.
Oh, you piqued my interest.
Well, I'm out.
Brandon's like, I might not watch it now.
Had enough. 3 episodes. You're gonna start introducing sports. I don't know. Did you guys see the little like prank thing that they did Netflix did where they had a mom with a baby carriage pushing a hybrid like bird baby, and people on the street were reacting to it and like thought it was a real thing. They're like, I don't understand. This is amazing. Like they were just like, they bought it hook, line, and sinker. It was really hilarious.
It's like the animatronic thing.
Yeah. And then I think an eagle, like another like bird or something, landed somewhere, and they had another like reaction. Like anyway, I'll send it to you so you can watch it. But yeah, Sweet Tooth. It's on Netflix, and I believe it's 8 episodes. So Alan, you'll be finished up maybe by the next CAPECAST. We can maybe Ryan will have watched it at least partially, and we can talk about it a little more. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. It's not like I said, I think it's TV 14, but depending on, I don't know what you watch with your kids, but for me, it doesn't have a lot of like language, it doesn't have a lot of sexual kind of that kind of stuff. So it's pretty tame in that regard. And most of the like hard violence so far is like off screen, hinted, insinuated. Yeah. And so it's got enough of like the thrills. Like I said, it's like old school 80s action that had like similar to Shazam, as far as Shazam took that old school approach with it's like some of like it's kind of scary, but not like good scary kind of thing. And so cool. I'm enjoying it. So it's
plan on checking it out. Just haven't had a chance to.
Definitely do it. But yeah, that's all I got. Anybody else got anything geek related that they've watched this week?
No, don't think so.
No.
Trying to think.
Well,
I guess we're just waiting for Black Widow at this point, right, Brandon?
Yes.
I am honest to God. I am looking forward to Taskmaster. I'm looking forward to the villain. He is actually a pretty decent villain as far as comic book material goes.
Yeah, it could be cool. Are you going to make the trip out to the theater? Are you going to do a Disney Plus?
I am actually
going to the premiere.
No, Scarlett Johansson, she hit me up. I'm actually not going to go to a theater until possibly Ghostbusters Afterlife. That may be the first time back to a theater. We're going to do it as a family. I know that one for sure.
Gotcha.
Right on.
But yeah,
I'll tell you what, Alan, if you and the fam have an interest in seeing that and you want to go halvesies on a Disney Plus premiere, I'd be willing to spend a little bit of money to rent it. We can watch it at my place if you're up for that.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Now, I don't have Disney Plus.
It's a date.
No, I do. I'm just kidding. I have Al's. So I'll put it on Al's card.
There you go. And I'll give you half. What you do with it is up to you. You don't have to give it down.
That's the only way that I can justify renting. It's like if I got it's like a UFC pay-per-view. If I got another people that want to chip in, yeah, sure. I mean, but
I mean, for real. And I mean, I want it to do good. I feel like it's long overdue for Black Widow to have had her own film. She's one of the longest running characters through the whole MCU, and I feel like it's kind of been a disservice to not have her own movie. And I hate that COVID kind of screwed everything up. So I don't know.
Yeah, it seems to me it just feels like too little, too late. But
yeah,
it's already too late that she's dead in the MCU.
Yeah.
Now they're making a solo movie for her. And it's also too little too late that this movie was supposed to come out a year ago and it's been kicked down the road.
Yeah, so, I know they should have did this long ago. I mean, honestly, if anything, I know a lot of the studio bigwigs might have pitched a fit about the way Warner Brothers did things, but the HBO Max release, simultaneously released in theaters where you can watch it for free at home. They did hit it out of the park on that one. I have enjoyed that aspect of things, being able to just click play. No
doubt
that's been really cool.
I agree, which is honestly why I'm like, sure, I'll watch this at home.
Yeah.
We know, Brandon.
Kind Because the thing, I mean, I know that this is going to have a lot. It's one of those things, the Marvel formula. It's like you got to watch it to know where it's going.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be part of the zeitgeist. Got to tune in. You got to watch everything they put out. So I still haven't watched Captain Marvel, and I didn't finish Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I'm going to stick to that because I don't care.
I don't blame you. They're both terrible.
I actually, the final episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier was probably the best episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier. It really was. That's not saying much. The bar was set pretty low, but it was.
Yeah, it was.
I started it, and then I turned it off because I was just like, I wasn't in the mood for it, and I was already off the show.
My boy Bucky so dirty. I can't even explain it.
It really did.
Yeah. We don't have to get into that. We've talked about it more than it deserves.
Right. You're
right. Sorry, Britt. We love you.
Yeah.
Hope Disney Fights is going well.
Yeah. There we go.
All right. Well, that's all I got, guys. Next week, it probably won't be as elongated because we won't have as much news to cover. We just haven't done this in a while, so we had a lot to hit on.
Yep, no doubt.
But appreciate you hopping in, Alan.
Yeah, man. Yeah, guys.
You are a welcome addition. We'll have you back for sure. And maybe we can get another person or two on next week. But yeah, well, we talked about, I don't know how we're going to do this. If we're going to do Loki episodic reviews, maybe we'll do maybe we could just do a more like in-depth mid-season. If we're all into it, we could do a mid-season thing. I just don't want to commit. We committed hard on the Falcon and Winter Soldier, and it became a thing that we didn't even do a finale review.
Homework.
Yeah, I just don't want it to get to that because I know that nobody likes hearing people crap on the things that they love.
Right.
So
if
we're not into it, I don't want to take anybody down to that level.
Sure.
So, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's going to be good though. Again, I haven't seen it yet. So I could be in Alan's camp or I could be in Ryan's camp or somewhere in the middle. We'll see. Ryan, I guess you want to tell them where they can find us.
Yeah. Hit the subscribe button here on YouTube and the notification bell so you stay up to date on all our shows and when we're going live. Also give us a follow on Twitter at CAPECAST Show. We are talking geek things on there all day, every day. And we launched a Patreon. That's patreon.com/CiNEMACHiNEPod. And any support we get there is hugely appreciated. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, again, Alan, thanks for hopping on. Ryan, pleasure as always, buddy. I love you. Great to see you this weekend in person, hug you physically, just wrap my arms around you.
Yeah.
It was awesome. But yeah, we will see you guys this Thursday on CiNEMAChiNE at 8:30. So tune in there. Probably have lots to talk about and debate over and,
criticize
Al for.
And
the whole thing. But yeah, until next time, we'll see you later.